Can you talk to us a little bit about this issue of restoring faith in the plan? Obviously, the markets are in turmoil globally right now, and what's been happening in the UK is a part of that story. What are you looking to accomplish on this trip? Do you feel like you've been able to accomplish something so far?
Yes, I do. It has been a great trip. I've met many businesses, many US businesses investing in the UK, UK businesses investing in the US, and the atmosphere is actually very positive. Many companies, including business trade associations, are saying that the policies which were announced last week were many of the things that they had been asking for. They still have faith in the UK, and market turmoil happens fairly frequently. This is a global phenomenon. You're absolutely right that there is some instability in the UK right now, but the Bank of England has also made lots of statements which has provided lots of reassurance to business. So I think that we're actually in a really good place. Many businesses agree with me that now is actually the time to invest in the UK, and I'm here to bang the drum for Britain.
Despite even some of the economic concerns as well, taking out the market volatility concerns?
That's something that we are addressing with our growth plans. And I thought it was very interesting, your journalist talking about things going back to 2014, the Scottish referendum, the Brexit referendum. Those were democratic referenda where people were telling us what they wanted. And the message that we certainly got in 2016 was that the growth had not been spread and shared equally, and that there is a low growth environment. We need to fix that. In order for us to be able to spread the wealth, we need to create it. And that is what the Prime Minister and Chancellor's growth plan on Friday is all about. We've seen markets be volatile before. I remember earlier this year when we had a run on fuel, there was no fuel shortage, but sometimes these things can become a vicious circle where people panic unnecessarily when there's change or when there's something unexpected. It is my job as a trade secretary to calm things down, certainly from an international perspective. I've been really pleased to find that there isn't very much to calm down, but actually as a government, we also have a job to do in terms of communicating what we're doing, why, and how it's going to benefit the people of the United Kingdom.
Minister, you referenced the Bank of England and its actions. I'm sure you heard the comments from the former Bank of England Governor Mark Carney today, accusing your government of undercutting the nation's economic institutions. I was wondering if you could give us your reaction to that.
This is the first I've heard. I'm afraid I've been in meetings, so I hadn't heard those comments, but I do disagree with them if they are, as you say they are. I know that the Chancellor is working well with the Bank of England and is also committed to maintaining its independence. And this goes back to the fundamentals of why the UK does well. It is beyond today's news or tomorrow's news. It is actually about our regulatory environment. It is about our rule of law. It's about the fact that we have, I think, the second lowest debt to GDP ratio in the G7. We have strong institutions and they work well. Sometimes we may disagree on a particular approach, but we work well together. So I do completely disagree with Mark Carney.
Can we bring it back here to the U.S. as well? When you think about trade relations, what are some of the goals when you think about that special relationship between the U.S. and the U.K. as well and getting some better trade deals?
So things are pretty good between the US and UK in terms of trading relationships. And what I'm doing here is working to maintain that. We can't be complacent. We can't assume that because things are great today, that they're going to continue in the same vein. You have to keep working and nurturing a relationship. And that's what I'm doing in New York. That's what I'm doing with our investors, with the businesses that are based here, that are British businesses, and the US representatives of British businesses. I think that there's so much to do. And one of the things that I'm trying to do as Trade Secretary is broaden the discussion beyond trade deals. Trade deals are fantastic, but they're not the only thing that exists in terms of in the toolbox of a trading relationship. I had a fantastic conversation with Ambassador Catherine Tai today, and there's so much that we have in common and that we're going to be working together on. So I'm feeling pretty positive, and I hope that I can spread and share that message.
That is helpful context, Minister. I do just want to clarify, because the fact that this is your first overseas trip and there were seen as so many headwinds towards a U.S.-UK trade deal in the near term, are you looking to make any specific progress on a U.S.-UK trade deal in the short term?
I think the Prime Minister was clear in terms of the likelihood of a US-UK trade deal, and I'm not going to contradict that. But that doesn't mean that a deal can't be done in future. And if we are going to do one in the future, then I need to continue making the relationships and nurturing them now so that when it's time to do one in the future, it'll be a lot easier.